15-year-old Rachel Barber had everything going for her. She was incredibly talented, a dancer, training full-time. She was popular, loved by her family, who were very close, and by her beautiful boyfriend, an equally gorgeous and loving person in his own right. And she was beautiful, strikingly so. She was tall, slim, dark hair and striking, piercing green eyes. It would be very easy to envy Rachel, but she was too pure. She was too kind and loving and full of life. To everyone but one person. One person saw Rachel as having the life they would never have. And that's why Rachel ended up murdered.
Oh, my God.
This is the truly harrowing story of 15-year-old Rachel Barber.
Oh, my God. I know a little bit about this, and I'm scared of what you're about to tell me. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Not Another Crime Podcast.
I'm Georgia Love.
I'm Sammy Peterson.
I'm a journalist.
I am not. But I'll tell you what, if you want to skip ahead and just listen to the story, the time code on how to do that, well, just a time code, is in the show notes
but before
below.
you do, if anyone is doing that, I want to give a preface to this week's Thursday Treat episode because it's related to the story.
Yes.
So don't skip ahead just yet.
Not just yet.
Maybe just don't at all, but
Don't at
definitely
all.
not yet.
Yeah.
So this Thursday's treat is going to be a real treat indeed.
Yeah.
Because I have another podcast called Everyone Has an Ex.
Yes.
And this Thursday we're going to actually have an episode of that podcast as our Thursday treat because it's about this story.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's all I'll say now because it's a special treat for you to listen to on Thursday. But yeah, it is related to this story and we're going to drop that for you on Thursday. So if you are listening to this story and you want to know more, hear one person's view of it, side of it, their story, listen again on Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you did skip ahead, F off.
Yeah,
I'll just say that because they don't know. They don't know. That's
the thing is, we can actually say that.
You can say
because
whatever.
They're not here. But if you guys know anyone who is a skip aheaderer,
yeah, all good. Yeah.
tell them F off.
Tell them F off for us. Pass it on. Pass F off on for us.
Pass F off on. That's quite hard to say.
That's quite hard to say. On my other podcast, Confessions, there's a new episode up already with the great Gareth Reynolds. If you want to listen to that, Gareth is one of the funniest people ever. And I was very excited to record with him over a wonderful thing called Zoom.com. It makes everything harder.
Oh, yeah, because there's always a little bit of a delay.
Always. It's a program that you on the computer.
You.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
No, the thing I have to record that my other podcast on.
Everyone has an X available on all of the apps.
That's right. And there's a new season out at the moment.
Yeah, it's available on all of the apps.
All of the podcast apps. It's not available on, for instance,
Flow Tracker.
It's not available on Flow Tracker.
Not available on Flow Tracker.
It's not available on
Menulog. I don't know why you can't think of any apps at all that I've given you.
I was about to say Spotify, but it is.
Oh, it is available on Spotify,
it's not
actually.
available on the email, your
and you
mail
did one.
app.
Very good stuff.
But it can be. You can email us at sammy@justanothercompany.com.
If you want to get in touch, and why don't you also send us a voicemail because we fucking love that.
What are other apps? Paystay.
Yeah, there's so many apps. What are you talking about? There's a YouTube app.
Yeah, but it is available on YouTube.
Oh, is it?
Oh, wait, no, that's ours.
No, that's ours. It's available on YouTube.com. Great plugs for ours, though.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to watch it on YouTube.com, it is out right bloody now. There won't be a YouTube video for Thursday's episode, but it is so worth listening to.
Yeah.
Gee, love, for people that don't know right now, there is, I would describe it as a ruckus happening upstairs.
Yeah, there's I can't think of a better word.
Dance
than
party.
ruckus. There's a freaking
It's called a dance party. And what a dance party is, if you don't know, it's people who dance non-stop. And my neighbour Deb right now, I think every weekend she has a dance party with some of her friends.
Great.
They are so positive. What did she say? She said they do it so they can feel safe and just have a good time. It's always in Sunday afternoon. They all bring bottles of bubbles so we can relate to that. And all they do is they dance, they call out to digs on their balcony down, and they just dance and have the best time in the world. And it is so fun to hear.
They're in like they're maybe 50s, are they?
Yeah, maybe late 40s, 50s. And basically they dance all afternoon upstairs. It's to Shania Twain mostly, and it's very good stuff. So
yes.
I love it when the dun, 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 let's go girls comes on.
They all scream out.
They do. Yeah, it's so good. And upstairs, all that happens is I can just hear footsteps going, but because of my double glazing, G-Love, I cannot hear out there. So I do like to open it up so I can hear them dancing and
why don't
everything.
you go and join them?
Oh, I have before. I've been upstairs before to take Diggs up because they have invited Diggs to the dance party many times before. Yeah, but he loves it. He's a dancer from way back.
Oh, yeah. He has dance parties himself here every day while you're at work.
You know Diggs. I've been watching some Netflix documentaries recently, G-Love.
Sammy, no, wait. You're allowed to tell me that, please. But you know what I'm going to ask you first.
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, please.
Have you watched fucking Heated Rivalry yet?
No, I have not. But I have watched a lot more Morning Wars.
Great, good for you. Why haven't you watched Heated Rivalry yet?
I started to watch the first episode and I was not in the right headspace for it because it was quite slow.
You need to trust me.
Yes, I know.
You need to trust me.
Yeah.
Also, it's been one of my Paudry peeves before when you tell someone, watch this show, you'll love it, and they just don't do it. I'm like, what? I'm telling you,
but
because
the Paudry peeve is
it.
also when someone says, oh my God, you have to watch this episode. It gets great after 3 seasons.
This is only 6 episodes.
I know that, but it's still a lot. How long is each episode?
50 minutes?
Yeah, okay. So that's a long time.
It's only 6 episodes.
Hold on. Every single week, I've got a dance party to go to, or I could watch Heated Rivalry.
No, they're not the only 2 options.
What are the other options?
You can have no, they're not options at all. You can do both.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm not saying every week you must sit down on a Sunday and watch all 6 episodes of Heated Rivalry.
Yeah.
Or go to Deb's dance party. I've never once said that.
Yeah,
and
right.
I never would.
DDP, as I call it. Oh, not sure about that. But what I'll say, G-Love, is what if I just said, yeah, I watched it and I was at the cottage this weekend?
I will believe that you wouldn't, because then I would want to sit down and have an 8-hour deep dive about it, and I would know very quickly.
Yeah. Well, what if, okay, so I was discussing this with the wonderful Gareth Reynolds the other day. So on the podcast, I said to him, I love your podcast, and I just forgot the name of his podcast. And I said it's with Jake Johnson, and he goes, yeah, what's it called? He called me out on it. And I went, can we help? And he goes, yeah, and he said a variation of what it was, but I almost got it right. It was just one word off. Anyway, and it was so funny. And then we just both started saying for the rest of the podcast, yeah, I know. Like we both know. We both don't know what we're talking about. We
That's
go,
fantastic.
Yeah, I know. Because I have a great story that I kind of told on Confessions this week, but it is one of my favorite stories ever, where someone that you and I both know, and he went to a play of someone else we both know. I'll tell you about this after.
I'm trying to read.
No, you're not going to.
Okay.
And I keep putting my hand.
You're not going to
do that, lovely lady. And it is International Women's Day as we're recording this.
Yes,
lovely lady.
I'll tell you about that in a minute. Please
I believe it's for women internationally. I got it. We're going to the cottage
for only the women who are international.
We're going to the cottage, and my friend told me this story, right? And I have since changed little bits of this story, and I did it in the Confessions episode to make it about me. What I'll say is this story actually is not about me, but I really hear the identities of these people, and I think it's fun to just not name and shame, but get closer to what the actual story is.
Are you going to tell us the story, or are you making people listen to Confessions?
No, I'm going to tell you the story. Okay, so I don't like repeating stories, but I'm going to do it this one time, right?
Good.
So basically what happened is my friend was going to go and see this play, got really bored during it, and went and had a joint upstairs on the the rooftop.
At interval or during?
During the show, and didn't watch the show. And then at the end, this person who you know, you'll die when you hear who these people are, he walked up the top and saw them on the deck or the rooftop or whatever, and said, what did you think of the play? And my friend said, really, really good, loved it. And he said, what did you think about the horse bit? And he said, that was my favourite bit. He said, there was no horse bit. Right, so that's the story. And so Gareth and I spoke about that for a long time, and then I just started to pretend that I've seen all of Gareth's stuff. So he said my film that he hadn't sent to me at that point. He goes, what do you think of it? I go, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, great.
It's real good stuff. But I just find it one of the funniest things in the world where people pretend that they've seen something and they haven't. And it is so easy to get caught out in it. My friend Davin, great friend Davin, one of my childhood friends told me once, he was like...
He's not a child anymore.
No, so he grew up.
Yes.
And he said to me once... Have you seen Scooby-Doo? And I went, yeah, I've seen Scooby-Doo. And he goes, no, you haven't. I went, yeah, I have seen Scooby-Doo. And he goes, I was like, so you can tell me the spoilers and everything, just so I would know a bit more about it. And he said, what about the bit when they're in the van or something like that? And I said, oh, I love that bit. And he goes, that never happened in the film. So Davin really caught me out. It was a real piece of work, a real snake in the grass about that. And I've never forgiven him.
Yes.
Basically is what I'm saying. I've never forgiven him. Have you done that where you pretended to? I imagine you, as a journalist, you probably don't do that. You don't go, yeah, I loved it.
No, I don't do that.
No.
I can't think of a time when I would have done that.
Great comedian Celia Paccola did that to me and my friend Bron Lewis when she came on a podcast I used to do called You Two Drunk Aunties, and she came on to it pretending she knew it, and then we called her out on it because she just goes,
you would do the segment and she
goes, what?
Why are you doing that? Why are you calling it this?
And I started every episode by going, let's go, girls. And then she'd go, fuck, and she lost it. And she goes, do you do that every episode? I was like, yes, you obviously don't listen. That's interesting. But I love it. You wouldn't do that though as a journalist. Because I remember when you went to interview Adele a little while ago and you said you listened to the album.
That was a different journalist. That was a different journalist.
That's
and I would
stuff.
Never.
So he got a flight over to London.
The exclusive, only Australian person to do an interview with Adele about her latest album.
Yeah, probably called something about
30?
her age. Yep.
And he flew over to London, sat down for a one-on-one interview with her, and she realised during the interview, she got the vibe that he hadn't listened to it, and she asked him straight out, have you listened to it?
Yeah.
And
he
the
went,
only part of it,
yeah.
No, he didn't. The only part of it that I do respect is that he said, no, I haven't. It's not out
That's
yet.
great he did that.
And she said, we sent it to you beforehand though. And he said, oh, I didn't realise. So none of that story is good but I do respect that he said, no, I haven't.
Yeah.
Because it is bad on both parts. If you haven't, so this is the thing with the play that you were saying that you know someone who went to.
We know someone who went to.
Oh, this is fascinating.
You're going to lose your mind. You know both people.
Oh my God, I can't
The person who
wait.
was in the play and the person who went to the play.
I just need a yes or no from you. Was the person in the play Chris Hemsworth?
No.
Was the person who went to the play Bobby Darin?
Who is Bobby Darin?
The old swing music star, the one that sings Somewhere Beyond the Sea.
Okay. I cannot confirm or deny.
Fascinating.
But probably not, since I said who is Bobby Darin. Okay. So you would never do something like that because Karl Stefanovic went over it. That was a journalist.
No, it wasn't. Okay. I
can't throw someone under the bus like that. I listened to Karl Stefanovic's podcast recently.
Why?
He had an interview with Pauline Hanson.
I'm going to double down on the why.
Okay. The real reason I listened to it is because he had an episode with Carl Sanderlands.
Oh, God.
And I wanted to go. No. But I wanted to go, what is going on with this man? And I've never listened to Carl Sanderlands. So I was like, I want to learn a little bit about Carl Sanderlands. And I really didn't like him during it. And then I went, oh my God, he's had Pauline Hanson on. And
International listeners, just Google these people. And join in.
Both real pencils of shit. But Pauline Hanson, I was like, I actually find her voice very funny.
Yeah, okay.
And so I wanted to hear her say, please explain. But she has moments like that where she says ridiculous stuff and you're like, oh God. But I find her she seems like a character.
Yes.
Like she doesn't feel like a real person.
Yes, correct.
She feels like such a character. And there used to be a character called Pauline Pants Down that was a drag comedy character about Pauline, and she did an amazing song called Please Explain. I don't like it. No, never did. Perfect. I don't like it. So have you... You know that one.
I've heard, yeah.
I've heard good. I'll put it in here. Yes. But it's so funny. And so just like my friend wants to do a show about Pauline Hanson, playing Pauline Hanson, and they are one of the funniest people ever. They did a show about Chappelle Corby. She actually looks like Chappelle Corby.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And then she's just done heaps of great one-woman shows, and I think one about Pauline Hanson. And she's the most I guess for American listeners, she's very liberal. In our terms, she's very like left leaning. She's very, very, very about gay culture and everything. And I think it'd be very funny to watch her do a show about Pauline Hanson. Anyway, Carl Stefanovic, listening to it and everything, it is just really interesting because I find it really hard to listen to someone sometimes when you're like, because uncomfortable conversations I find really interesting. If you're talking to someone that you don't agree with, that's great. But I don't know where Carl stands, so I don't know whether or not he was promoting Carl Sandilands or Pauline Hanson, so I didn't end up listening to the whole thing in the end. It was just an interesting moment to go.
It made you feel uncomfortable, not in the right way.
Yes, yeah, that's right. But one of the greatest Frontline episodes of all time, there's an amazing TV show in Australia by the Working Dog crew who are just incredible, and also 4 doors down from my home, right? They're just incredible.
That's where the office
I'll dox them and me. And
you've doxed yourself.
I just love them so much. Their address is not listed. Don't you worry about that. And I've looked, and and I find them so incredible. And they did an episode. Basically, what it was a current affairs show. Yeah. But it was way before. Really, like any of those sort of really satirical shows.
We've brought it up in here before because that's where Edited Here is from.
And it's so brilliant. And it's basically like, if you've seen the Larry Sanders Show in America, it's very much like that, like behind the scenes of a current affairs show, a news report every single night. And there's one episode that they actually had Pauline Hanson in, and she pays herself out. Yeah, in it. And
I remember that.
Yeah, and someone goes, she's xenophobic. And then Mike Moore, the lead guy who's a bit dumb, he doesn't really understand what xenophobic means. Oh. So he keeps going, that's xenophobic. And people keep going, have you actually listened to her speech? And he goes, yeah, I know, he does that thing. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I get it. And he keeps going, that's xenophobic. And it's one of the funniest episodes ever because, and then she goes on and she's on in the end. She's on. She kind of pays out herself a little bit. And it's not something you've ever really seen from her.
No.
Because I think now, maybe back in the day, she did have a sense of humor about herself. Now she does not.
No, and now was like, minimum.
She's Trump-esque.
Yeah,
you know,
that
she's One Nation.
Years ago, that
show. She's One Nation in Australia, which is just ultra conservative, right wing, but
very problematic.
Very problematic. But yeah, back in the day, it's a fascinating episode. I have to watch it. It is so fascinating.
I'll ask you off mic your thoughts about the podcast bits that you have listened to of Carl Stefanovic's.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell me your thoughts if you want.
I've never liked Carl Stefanovic, but I do find it interesting. I don't know. I don't mind listening to things sometimes that I find uncomfortable. Like, I don't mind listening to something for a little bit until I go, okay, I get the idea of what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
I get the idea. Joe Rogan, I've never really listened to Joe Rogan, but I did have a friend that was on Joe Rogan and I listened to it going, I get what it's about.
Who's your friend who was on
James Donald Forbes McCann, who is a comedian from Adelaide who has really blown up. He's a very, very, very funny person. I don't agree with all of the things that he says, but he's a very, very, very funny person that went over to America because he opened in Australia for Shane Gillis.
Oh.
And who's a big American comedian. Shane Gillis really supports him, takes him around with him around the world, and he's just become really big. And he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and so that's the only Joe Rogan podcast I've ever listened to. But I know Louis Theroux's been on there, and really people that I actually like have been on there. I'm sure someone like John Ronson would go on there because I find those sorts of people, they actually are okay to a certain extent in talking about who they are, and then kind of pushing back, I think.
Yeah, right.
Like I did Josh Zepp's podcast, Uncomfortable Conversations, and I don't agree with everything Josh Zepp says, and I would say that to him, but I like Josh Zepp's. So it's like,
the fact that you would say it to him is why you could go on that podcast comfortably. Yeah,
exactly. But no, the Carl Stefanovic thing is a really interesting. I'm not promoting his podcast. I'm just saying it is an interesting dynamic if you are in a mind frame to go, what is this about? It is an interesting thing to listen to for a few seconds to go, okay, I get it. I'm not into it. I'd rather listen to Mamma Mia out loud. But I kind of go, that's interesting. Right. That's interesting. Okay, I understand now. I get it. I get the whole, I listen to 2 seconds and go, I'm such a man. I get the whole view. I understand it all. Yeah, on International Women's Day when we're recording this. I get it.
So what I will say about it being International Women's Day today is I had a brunch at a friend's house.
Yes, you did.
This morning. Now, it didn't purposely fall on International Women's Day. That's not why she organised it. But she just wanted to get her girlfriends together for a Sunday brunch.
Like Deb today.
Like Deb
Sunday
today,
dance party.
Exactly.
DTP.
And she asked everyone to bring a plate of something they had made or baked themselves. Now, I don't like that. Okay?
Me? I don't like that.
I don't like baking or cooking. I'll do it when, if I need dinner, I'll make myself dinner.
Okay, okay, big girl.
If
I'm
need
hungry,
dinner.
I'll eat. If I'm hungry, I'll eat. And also, just so you know, if G is hungry,
you'll know about it.
Oh my God.
Oh, the hanger is real.
We've been on trips together and oh my God, when G is hangy, she tell you.
I don't like hangy.
When she hangy,
like
it's when you catchphrase. When she hangy, she tell you. I'm barreling the camera. When she hangy, you know.
I hate hangy.
Nah, when she hangy, you know. Sorry, please tell your beautiful story.
Right, so I baked some savoury muffins to take to this brunch because I was asked to, and I was against the fact that I was asked anyway. And the fact that it was a ladies' brunch and the invitation that went out said ladies' brunch, which lovely for my friend to host this thing, but I don't want to cook. I don't want to bake, but I did.
Yeah. I told you to go to it just at some sort of bakery or something and get shit.
Yeah.
I said those exact words.
Yes, you did. So I spent my Saturday night at home baking muffins
like a
for
pussycat.
a ladies' brunch on International Women's Day. And I cannot tell you how angry I am at myself for when realising that that's what I did for International Women's Day.
Yeah.
I've put the movement back fucking 40 years. I'm so angry
But
about
you said
it.
fuck the patriarchy when you were making them.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, my God, so many times. And she did have her husband be the waiter and clean, like, all the dishes and stuff around us, which, helped a little.
Yeah.
And I didn't speak to him. So I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't like him either. Never met him, but I don't like him. Tell you that much. From things I've heard, I don't like him one bit. I'm angry as hell.
Well,
can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Real quick?
Yeah.
I want to tell you this. I wish we had a behind the paywall episode so I could tell you those names and I would tell every listener. But if you want to DM the Instagram and say, hey, who are those people? I'll tell you.
It's one way to get our engagement up. Very clever.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you. That is so interesting though. Like I love that as going, oh shit. I have a friend that was one time, I'm very careful about what I say, but they were going to a friend's house and the friend said, need to make homemade stuff, bring homemade stuff. And she was like, oh, I don't want to do this, right?
I get it.
Went to I would say it's an artisanal place. Went to an artisanal place where they had the most amazing home-cooked caramel slice.
I see where this is going.
Made it. Everyone loved it.
Yeah.
Now she has to continually buy caramel slice to
every
everyone, whoever
party.
wants it.
My mum was not a great cook, fine,
yeah.
but not great and did not enjoy cooking. Exactly where I got it from. And there's a family we're very good friends with who live interstate, and they would come to Melbourne every year for Christmas. So every Christmas we'd have a dinner with them. And one year, after many, many, many years.
Not the Claus family.
No, they're very busy in December. We catch up with them in January.
Great.
Yes. One year she was like, fuck this, I'm just going to get it catered in. But it was like, that's that same kind of thing, like home-cooked stuff that she picked up during the day and heated up that night, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, at the end of the dinner, when these friends were leaving, the mum of the family said to my mum, Belinda, I've just got to say, your cooking has improved out of sight over the last...
Such an insult. I told you about my mum on Christmas Day. Oh, I can't tell that story, but if we're behind a paywall, I could definitely tell that story. Maybe we need to get a paywall.
This feels like this is all set up so people go, I'd pay to listen.
Oh, yeah.
But
hey, if you want to say it actually wasn't.
If you want to.
Yeah, if you want to. We're very happy to divulge all of these secrets. G-Love, we should get into the episode this week.
Yes, we do. I want to say up the top.
Yep.
Let's do that actually when it starts. So like in the show notes, we do it then. So it'll be like, let's get into it. And then it'll go, bling, and then I'll say my bit up the top.
Oh, okay.
After you put after like the ad marker thing.
Don't forget to listen please do leave us a 5-star rating, 5-star review. What else, G-Love?
Write us an email at sammy@justanothercompany.
Company.com.au. Leave us a
voicemail. The link is in our link tree on our Instagram and in our show notes as well. Leave us a 5-star rating and a 5-star review.
Share it with a friend. Watch us on YouTube. Thank you to Oliver Clark for doing the music. Thank you to Tamsin Hayes for doing the artwork.
And if every woman identifying person listening to this could please not bake anything on request for at least the next month.
Don't listen to Pauline Hanson.
That will help me feel a little bit better about how far I've put the movement back today by baking something because I was asked to. I'm really fucking angry about it.
Take 1 step forward, take 2 step back. That's something, the Paula Abdul song. What's that?
Don't know.
Because opposites attract.
Opposites attract. Is that how it goes?
I'm not sure. Anyway, listen to this week's episode and I'll do the theme here.
I don't think that's how it sounds.
Oh, I've never listened.
Okay, before I start on the story today, I want to say that this story is one that's very, very close to me. I remember it because the person involved in it, Rachel Barber, was close to my age, and I remember when it happened, and I remember kind of watching documentaries and movies and reading books about it. It happened in Melbourne, and it's just been one that it's really, really, really stuck with me. And I have, in the last couple of years, met somebody involved with the story, and I'll tell you who when their name comes up. And that has obviously only made me much closer to the story in terms of how I feel about it and a real insight into the story itself from somebody that was involved in it. So I have spoken to that person about whether they would be comfortable for me to do this episode. This story is an episode, and he has said yes. So I will go into this story. It is really harrowing story, really harrowing. And this Thursday, we've got a special Thursday treat, which is an episode of my other podcast, Everyone Has an Ex. We'll be republishing that on our feed because that is an episode with this person that I have met involved in this story. I've not done the story before now because I didn't know whether my friend would be comfortable with it, but I've spoken to him and he has said that he's happy for me to do this story as an episode. So it's just an awful one. So are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I think so.
Yeah. Rachel Barber was born on September 12, 1983. She had
Virgo. The star sign, she's a Virgo. Yeah.
She's a Virgo.
Yeah.
I'm a Virgo.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe this is why I feel a real connection to her. She was the eldest of 3 girls. She had a sister named Ashley and Heather.
Great names.
Yeah.
Ashley and Heather, I like those names, yeah.
In her wider family, there was a children's author, a writer, a photographer, a toy maker, designer, and an artist.
And a candlestick maker.
Yeah.
What a creative family.
That's
wow.
exactly why I've written that.
Yeah.
The whole family was very talented and very creative.
Yeah.
Rachel started dancing at Melbourne Dance Academy, where she would spend almost every night after school and even some lunchtimes.
Do you know how old she was when she started, or she just kind of always did it?
Yeah, she started dancing when she was really little, like kind of three or four when she started, and she loved it. And it's a very kind of 90s thing as well. Like every girl I went to school with, everyone I know just did dancing after school.
Yeah.
Everyone I know. Obviously not everyone did, but it was a very 90s thing.
When you can dance,
Melbourne.
you dance.
When you dance, you dance.
Dance the dance of life.
Yeah, something like that. She loved it, and she was very naturally talented at it, and she worked really hard, so became, it really flourished in it. It wasn't just a natural talent, she worked hard as well. And she particularly flourished in classical ballet. Her grandma was a photographer, and she would pose for her grandma's artistic shots, like in her ballet, on point. And she was featured in a lot of her grandma's photography because she was just really, from a little girl, really striking looking. She kind of had a natural ballerina frame, and she had these stunning bright green eyes and kind of almost cat-like eyes. She was very, very, very beautiful.
I've seen photos of her before, and she's just such a striking looking person.
Striking is the perfect word for her, isn't it?
Absolutely.
At age 14, she did a 2-week modelling course because she was really desperate, really desperate to do that. So her mum and dad said, yes, you can do the course, but her parents said, you're not doing any kind of professional work in that at this age, but you can, do the course. Yeah. She convinced her parents, begged her parents and pleaded to leave school at 15 so she could go to dance school full time.
Wow.
And finally managed to convince them.
Okay.
They said she has such a passion and love for dance. She's not going to ever want to do anything else in her life anyway. So it was kind of like they really...
She's going to focus on that. She's going to do it anyway. Yeah.
So she got into and then enrolled in Dance Factory, which is a dance school which has a full-time academy as well as just classes that you can go to as well in Richmond, in Melbourne.
Oh, right. Okay. They had a dog, Broadway baby there, I believe. That's just a little insight to those of us who love dance mums.
Sure.
Abby Lee Miller.
Yeah. I love that we went out for dinner with friends of ours and you spent the whole dinner talking to our friend's wife about Dance Mom.
Oh, yeah.
Which I haven't watched.
No.
And I... famously, I'm a theatre gal.
Yeah.
So in 1999, she was 15 years old and she was dancing full-time at Dance Factory.
Wow.
On Monday, March 1 of that year, she dressed in a pair of long black pants, which definitely in those days we called dance pants.
Dance pants, yep.
A blue top and her jazz runners. I've got to tell you, do you know what jazz runners are? Oh, my God. Like black, kind of like runners, but with no middle in their sole. So the arch, so you can point your toes properly.
Oh, okay.
So there's no arch
restricting.
In them.
Yeah, wow.
God damn it, I wanted them so
wow.
badly.
Okay, right.
Anyway, she had them.
Yeah.
She had a backpack on with her wallet, a water bottle, and a homemade cushion she had made for her boyfriend, Manny. It was a purple heart tied with a pink ribbon that she had made for him.
Oh, wow.
Now, Manny is the person who has become a friend of mine in the last few years. Rachel left her Bayswater North home at the time she always did. She yelled out, "Bye, Mum, love you," and got in the car with her dad, Michael, who took her to the nearby tram stop that would take her straight into school at Dance Factory. He would then pick her up from the same tram stop that evening at 6:15 p.m. She got on the 9:30am tram, arriving in Richmond, where she ate breakfast at a friend's house, a friend that went to Dance Factory as well. The group of them would go in there together. And one of the people there was her boyfriend, 16-year-old Manny. They had met at Dance Factory the previous May. So Rachel
he was a dancer too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How cool.
He's a dancer as well. Rachel wasn't full-time when they met. She was just dancing there. And this year, in 99, she was full-time. When they met in that previous May, they had just been inseparable ever since. They were really one of those, teenage couples that were just like magnetized to each other, just absolutely adored each other and love heart eye emoji, everything beautiful.
And also like a male dancer is quite a hard thing to find as well. Like, I mean, especially a heterosexual cis, like a male dancer is such a, I don't know, like I always feel like, well, this is my history of watching Dance Mums. I always go, you never really see a lot of male young dancers that want to do it. Yeah. So Manny must have had like such an amazing ability to dance and everything. And what a beautiful thing.
Very, very talented as well. He's an amazing singer.
Oh my God, wow. Yeah.
Also remember it was the 90s and he was a teenager as well. So, it was less common, I think, for teenagers then to be
follow their dreams like that and be like, it's amazing.
But also less common for the, anyone, I suppose, as teenagers in the 90s to be out and openly gay if they were at that age as well.
Sure. Yeah.
So the cushion that she had made for him was, it wasn't a special occasion the day that she was giving it to him. She just had made it that weekend because she wanted him to know that he had captured her heart.
Oh, how cute.
So I wanted him to have her heart that
That's
he couldn't
adorable.
get with him always. Isn't it gorgeous?
That's adorable.
I remember teenage relationships.
Yeah. Mixtapes.
Mixtapes.
I made someone a mixtape once.
Did you? What was on there?
Oh, like pretty much Backstreet Boys.
Perfect.
Yeah, which girls always love.
Yeah, you're smooth, aren't you? At 10:15 a.m, the group that had been at breakfast went to their dance school to start classes. During one of the classes, Rachel told a friend that she was doing something that evening that was going to make her some money, but she couldn't say what it was. She was just telling her friend to be like, I'm really excited. I'll tell you tomorrow, but I'm not allowed to tell you today what it is.
Oh, okay.
She didn't want to jinx it.
Sure. I had a lemonade stand for a bit.
Yes.
I was doing stuff like that. Like I wanted to, me and my friend Tyron, we used to try and make any money we could, and we sold rocks with googly eyes on them. At the front of the house, we'd have we made a little stall. It was just a trestle table, pet rocks with like googly eyes. And we also had a lemonade stall as well.
Yeah, I've seen photos of you when you were little and you're the cutest.
We thought it was amazing. We had the same watch on. We thought it was real cool.
World.
Same watch. And we used to just sit there just talking all the time.
Was it one of those like slap band watches?
Yeah.
Obsessed.
Loved it. So cool.
Would have been around the same time
exactly. Yeah.
So at lunchtime that day, Rachel and Manny went for a walk down Swan Street in Richmond, and Rachel pointed out a pair of blue platform shoes in a shop that she said she was going to buy the next day.
Oh, wow.
They were $100.
Oh, that's
in
a
1999.
huge amount of money.
Exactly. So Manny was like, they're beautiful. I know you love them, but like, come on.
Yeah.
But she said, I'll be able to buy them tomorrow. I'm meeting up with an old friend tonight.
Oh.
And she's going to help me make a bit of money to buy the shoes. Manny asked who the friend was and what she meant, and she said that she couldn't tell him. Same thing, she said, I don't want to jinx it, but I'll tell you about it tomorrow.
Right.
And this was very out of character for Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel and Manny told each other everything, but she said she had been explicitly told not to tell anyone about the work before it was done, and she didn't want to stuff it up. After classes had finished for the day on March 1, at 5:35, Rachel walked to the tram, saying goodbye to Manny and telling him she'd call him when she got home and tell him all about the job. She walked with two friends to the tram stop that they always went to, but when she got there, she said, I'm actually catching a different tram than usual tonight from a stop further down the road. Her friends offered to walk with her, but she said, it's no need, it's literally just down there. And she walked in the opposite direction to where her tram would usually take her.
Okay.
Rachel's dad, Michael, was meant to pick up Rachel at 6:15. But when it got to 7:15 and neither of them were home, Rachel's mum, Michael's wife, Elizabeth, got worried.
Yeah.
Neither had a mobile phone. It was 1999, so all she could do was wait. At 7:40 p.m, the home phone rang. It was Michael from his parents' house, which was closer to the tram stop, so he'd just gone straight to his parents' house to call.
He was waiting there to pick her up till 7 something and then went, yep.
Calling to say Rachel hadn't got off any of the trams in the past hour or so. Now, sometimes there were two different tram stops based on which tram she got onto. And sometimes she would go on a different tram. They would always plan it in the morning, like tonight I'm getting on the 85 or whatever.
Yep.
So he thought maybe she'd mistaken which one she was meant to get off that day. So Michael went to the other tram stop, but she wasn't there either. Elizabeth, Rachel's mum, called Manny and said, is Rachel with you? Where is she? He confirmed that he had last seen her at 5:35 when they parted ways, and she said she was going to do a job but wouldn't tell him what it was. Elizabeth's stomach dropped. She had heard nothing about any jobs that Rachel was meant to be doing. She rang the dance school and rang around to Rachel's friends to try to put together a bit of a timeline and ask anyone if they knew where she was, and she just heard more of the same. that she had some secret job she was attending and got on she found out that she got in a different tram than usual, but no one knew where she was going. Elizabeth went straight to the local police station to report her missing.
So where is the local police station? So that like dance school is in Richmond.
Dance school's in Richmond.
Yep.
They lived in Bayswater.
Oh, Bayswater. Okay,
Yes,
right.
yeah.
So it's a beautiful place. Like
and it's about
I don't know how far it is, but
maybe
Bayswater outside of
25 minutes or so.
It's not very far, is it? But it's a beautiful part of the world. It's I mean, it's very much a
Suburban Melbourne,
family-orientated place. But Bayswater, always saying Bayswater to Richmond,
Yes.
is to Richmond. Sorry, to Bayswater to
Googling.
Richmond is 27 kilometres. So yeah, okay, yeah. It's not very far, but it takes about 45 minutes.
Oh wow, 45 minutes.
But 27 kilometres, you think, with all the traffic lights and everything, it'd take about 45 minutes.
Yeah, so Elizabeth went to the local Bayswater police station to report her missing. She said it's incredibly out of character for her not to have come home and told
also to have
people.
secrets,
exactly. Also, it was a big thing that she was really afraid of the dark, didn't like being out on her own. And she was a real family girl. She would never want to have made them worry.
Yeah.
She was also quite shy and quiet and introverted. So they did know she wouldn't have spoken to strangers, like got into a stranger's car or anything like that.
Met someone on the tram and went, yeah.
Police very much palmed it off as a teenager just kind of going, off kilter.
Run away. Yeah.
No, not run away.
Okay.
Like she's gone out somewhere.
Right.
She's been
gone to
a bit
time
naughty.
zone or something. And that's, yeah.
Police told Rachel's mum that 97% of missing teens turn up within the first 2 days.
97%. That's so high. Really? You're right. Okay.
They just wouldn't listen to the fact that they were saying she's not a wayward teen that she wouldn't do this to us. She's not gone out and smoked a joint somewhere or gone out drinking and is being unruly. She's just not like that
girl.
at all. They would not listen to that at all. So Elizabeth and Michael themselves went out driving and just driving up and down the streets near home, near any of the tram stops around Richmond, all around Melbourne. They were asking strangers if they'd seen her and no one said they had.
Wow.
The next morning, Rachel still wasn't home. Her parents went back to the police station to give them photos of Rachel to help with their search, only to find that they had done nothing since their missing persons report was lodged by Elizabeth. They really were just like, this isn't a missing person.
97%.
15-year-old girl, come on. Her parents once again took it into their own hands. They went to Dance Factory and she hadn't shown up there either, which again was very out of character. She loved
dance,
school. She loved it. They spoke to her friends there, her teachers and her classmates. Again, only heard more of the same. They searched her locker but found and learned nothing new. They walked up and down the streets of Richmond speaking to shop owners. Many said they recognised her but they hadn't seen her in the last day. The only person who said they had seen her the day before was the shopkeeper in the shoe shop, who said she had come in with a young man who was Manny the day before and asked to put the blue platform shoes on hold because she would be coming back the next day to buy
Put
them.
on hold.
Yeah.
Oh, how beautiful. Yeah.
But the shopkeeper made a note that she had not come back in that day to buy them. One thing they did learn was their worst nightmare. Two of the shopkeepers in Richmond at separate shops told Elizabeth and Michael that the owner of an illegal brothel that operated nearby had only recently, in the last couple of weeks, been released from jail, and he had been in jail for exploiting underage girls into sex work.
Oh, my God.
Now, Rachel's parents knew their daughter and they were sure she wouldn't have fallen into something like this not fallen into, but they knew she wouldn't have chosen to do something like this. So when she was saying she had a job, So when she was saying, there's a secret job I've got to do tonight,
no, she wouldn't have. Yeah.
They were really confident she wouldn't have planned for that.
Right.
But they were absolutely terrified that perhaps this is somehow been linked to it. Elizabeth went to the brothel and begged to know whether Rachel had been there, if anyone recognised her, but they swore they didn't. They said, we're not trying to cover anything up here. We swear to you, we don't recognise her.
Yeah.
She didn't know whether to believe them or not, so she made a call to and this is what it's called, the Sex Workers Outreach Program, which worked in protecting and focusing on the health and safety of sex workers in Melbourne. They took down the details of her appearance and description, but said they were confident. They said they didn't recognise her, and they were confident that she wouldn't have got caught up in that world due to her young age. The fact that this guy had been arrested and gone to jail for exploiting underage girls kind of made them more confident that, like, they've learnt not to do that.
Yes, okay.
The Barber parents then went to Richmond Police Station to report her missing there.
So they reported her missing at the Bayswater.
Bayswater.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
right,
yes.
okay, yep.
But while they were in Richmond, they were like, well, this seems to be the last place that she was definitely seen. Let's
And the
report her
Bayswater
missing at
police
this
weren't
one.
doing anything at that point because,
Yes.
yep.
And the dance factory teachers had also gone to Richmond Police Station to report her missing there as well. What they were told there was that she had already been reported at Bayswater, Box Hill Station
Hill.
was the closest one to where they were, Box Hill Police Station. And now I've got here that she was reported missing at Box Hill Station. I said Bayswater Station earlier.
Yep.
So Box Hill and Bayswater aren't super, super close.
No.
I don't know why. It might have been that Box Hill Station was the only one that had that was manned 24 hours or something when she went after, because it was 8 p.m. or something where she went to
quite late.
report her missing. I don't know why it was Box Hill Station, but I apologise for what I said earlier. It is definitely Box Hill Station that she went to. But yeah, the police at Richmond said she's already been reported missing there. They'll deal with it.
Right.
And they were kind of saying, but we've realised this is where she was last seen. And they were like, oh, they've got it. They'll be fine. They can deal with it.
Right.
So they were really felt like police weren't
looking into it seriously. Yeah.
Her parents phoned around hospitals all around Melbourne to see if she had ended up there somehow. They were told that the privacy laws meant that they couldn't disclose the identity of any patients.
Right.
So
that makes them more worried. Like, that's horrible.
Then they had another idea. They could get their telco company to provide them with the details of numbers that had called or received calls to their home phone or calls placed in, the days leading up to try and find out more about what this job might have been and who.
If she's made any calls off the home phone, then it could have been traced back.
Exactly. But guess what? The privacy laws meant they couldn't do that either.
Even of that company.
They could provide the numbers of outgoing calls made.
Right.
But not incoming.
To their own house.
Yes. And they couldn't say the identity of the numbers that were called. So it was like, oh, we've called this, 9589, but they couldn't say, and that is linked to
Why'd
this
you give up my
person.
number like that?
That's not your number.
Why?
That was the start of my home phone number growing up.
But also, I don't really understand that because that's your personal information, isn't it? If you called that person, why can't they give the name of the person that was on the end of the line? Is this just how it was in Australia back then?
Yeah, I suppose that was someone's name and number being linked.
Yes,
was
okay.
against the privacy laws.
So strange.
As just people themselves, police would be able to get that kind of
information.
information.
Sure. Okay.
Just the Barber parents, weren't given that. So they checked the outgoing calls, and from what they could see, they'd all been to known people. The Barbers and Rachel's friends took on the missing person's case themselves, essentially.
God.
They printed out handfuls of missing persons posters. They were going door to door around Richmond, around Melbourne City, around
anywhere they could.
They were posting them on lampposts all around the city. It wasn't until day 3 of Rachel not being seen that Box Hill police officers said that they were going to Dance Factory to interview her classmates and teachers and the last people that had seen her.
Day 3.
Yep. And put together an official timeline to search for her.
I feel like even though 97% of runaways or whatever come back after a certain point.
2 days.
2 days. A missing person
Yep.
is found dead within 2 days usually. Like that is a statistic you often hear, that within 48 hours to 72 hours, they're actually the most critical moments.
Doesn't the fact that they didn't say until day 3, all right, let's go and interview people and put a timeline together, does that not show that they weren't treating it as a missing persons case? They were treating it as a teenager who hadn't come home.
Went away, yeah.
So it was day 3 that they were like, okay, we'll go to Dance Factory.
My God.
They didn't go to Dance Factory that day.
What?
They said they would.
And they didn't go?
They didn't go.
Oh my
They
God.
instead suggested that, because they said to the Barbers, we'll go today, and they said, we've already fucking done that.
Do you mind if I use your catchphrase?
Go on.
Fuck off.
Yeah, it feels good, doesn't it?
Feels good.
So the police instead suggested Rachel's parents compile a list of Rachel's associates, and they'd start there.
Rachel's associate. She's a kid.
Yep. Well, you tell us anyone Rachel speaks to, and we'll go and we'll start speaking to them. They also told her parents to check under the house in case Rachel had come back, was too scared to return inside, thinking she might be in trouble.
What? So she slept under the house?
It's like a runaway cat.
It's like a dog.
Weird.
It's like, what are you talking about?
They knew she would never do this, but still they searched under the house.
Sure, but that's wild.
Of course. Now, Sammy, when a female goes missing or a body is found, who do we look at first?
Boyfriend or partner.
This is where police's mind went to as well.
Or husband.
Rachel was 15. Her boyfriend Manny was 16. They were young and in love. Their families were really close. But they were definitely not allowed sleepovers. It was very much like a young teenage relationship. They were young.
She made him a pillow.
Exactly. Police brought Manny in for questioning, and they weren't soft on him. They put to him the scenario that he had got Rachel pregnant.
Oh, my God.
And was either hiding her somewhere or had done something to her when she had given him the news that she was or thought she was pregnant. She and Manny spoke every day and all day.
Yeah.
So it was unbelievable to police that he had just said goodbye after school and not probed her on what this mysterious job was and just let her go.
No, she was going to call him when she got home.
But police were saying, that doesn't check out. Everyone says you spend every moment together, and you're saying she said she had a job to go to but didn't tell me what or where it was, and you just let her go? Like, really?
He's 16 years old.
16 years old. Manny swore black and blue that this had not happened. He had been out searching for her with her family, placing posters everywhere. He was distraught.
Yeah.
But police weren't so sure. They eventually pushed him into admitting that, yes, they had had sex, which he had not.
Right.
Neither of them had told anyone, despite starting off by saying that they hadn't. And this just put a bigger question mark over the 16-year-old to police.
Because they thought he lied, and then, oh, my God.
Listen to Thursday's episode.
Yeah.
The story hit the news, of course. There were posters everywhere of a missing person, but not just any missing person. If you want to look at it this way, and as we always say about, bias, it was a missing, young, beautiful, talented teenage girl from a loving family. The case hitting the news led to a lot of reports about possible sightings. All leads were followed, but inevitably proved fruitless. Every single lead that came up. CCTV was scoured through. Areas of potential sightings from all the tip-offs and everything were visited. There was absolutely nothing that confirmed she was or had been anywhere after her last confirmed sighting by her friends walking in the opposite direction towards a different tram. That was the last confirmed sighting of her. Police searched Rachel's bedroom and found a handwritten note that read, "Station, go to Manny, $50 to $80, 3 special things." When this note was shown to her parents, her mum Elizabeth remembered that about 4 months prior, in the lead up to Christmas, Rachel had said that she wanted to buy 3 special things for her boyfriend Manny So the $50 to $80 probably meant the amount that she thought she would be able to spend or was willing to spend. But police weren't convinced about this. They took the note to mean that the $50 to $80 was the amount of money she would need to be able to run away, and that she wanted to take 3 special things with her, and that the, quote, go to money written down solidified their belief that he had helped her run away or hide.
Wow.
Sure of this theory, police suggested that Elizabeth and Michael turn their focus into counselling themselves about the fact that Rachel may have chosen to run away, and to perhaps start focusing on the well-being of their other 2 daughters.
That's horrific.
I will say alleged because I've heard this in numerous reports. I haven't read, any court documents that say this, but this is what her parents have said was told to them by police.
My God.
Obviously, they couldn't and wouldn't do that.
No.
They knew that Rachel had not run away. They just knew. So once again, they felt like they were taking the search efforts upon themselves. They would man the phone at all hours and took note of every single person who had called to check in on the search. People were calling in and saying, how are you doing? What can I do to help? They were aware of the notion that often people who kind of get involved in the search for someone's disappearance could be, they've seen documentaries, they've read stories about when someone goes missing and then it turns out that someone involved has helped in the search. So they're being like hyper kind of anxious and aware and going, well, let's kind of take a note of everyone who's calling and offering stuff that nobody knows. By March 6, so it was March 1 that she was last seen. By March 6, they thought that they may have a suspect in mind.
Oh.
They being Rachel's parents.
Oh, okay. Right.
A boy in Rachel's widest social circle called the family home to check in on the search, and this pricked up Elizabeth's spidey senses.
Right, okay.
This boy had previously turned up to their house unannounced and uninvited.
Oh.
Had given Rachel unwanted gifts.
Okay.
Had regularly called the home phone and asked to speak to her, and Rachel had said, no, I don't want to speak to him. And he'd even been seen lurking outside her window.
Oh, that's very strange. Was he similar age, like he was 15 years old about that? No, okay. Right.
There was limited information on this.
But that's very strange, yeah.
Elizabeth took this information straight to the police and was told, allegedly, they were already putting a lot of resources and time into Rachel's case, so we can't afford to be chasing down any and every lead or spidey sense from a mother.
Oh, fuck off. From a mother who knows best and knows her daughter. That is crazy.
Right? Isn't that fucking awful?
That's awful.
Like, okay, like Elizabeth.
Focus on your other 2.
Yeah, we're doing a lot, because you've had a random memory and a thought, you need to kind of calm down, leave it to us kind of thing.
Leave it to us, who didn't even check the dance school on the day they said they did.
Which was day 3 of her going missing.
My God.
When she was told this, Elizabeth ran crying from the station.
Yeah.
She broke down in the middle of the street screaming, they're going to let my little girl die.
Oh, my God. This poor mother.
You just can't even fathom. God. You just cannot even fathom. The following day, March 7, was Elizabeth's 40th birthday.
Oh, my God.
The family spent it searching again endlessly for their missing daughter. The following day, which was a week after Rachel had been seen last, something new came out to police. A girl named Alison, who was the sister of one of Rachel's friends, saw Rachel's face on the news. So she hadn't seen anything about that.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
Rachel's friend had a sister named Alison. And the first Alison had seen or heard of this missing person's case.
She knew Rachel, but she hadn't seen
that.
Yeah,
she saw it on the news and called police. Now, and you have to remember as well, this was well before the days of, social media or anything.
Sure.
So you would only see this if you looked at a newspaper.
If you're looking at the news,
or the news.
Yeah,
and
you're actively seeking that out.
As a teenage girl, she had
Of course.
She called police. She said, I 100% know that I saw Rachel on March 1 at about 6:40 p.m.
6:40?
on a tram headed to Paran, which is another suburb in Melbourne.
Yeah, yeah.
Very not near Bayswater.
No.
Like it's not far from Richmond.
No, it's not to drive, but even to get public transport.
Yeah, probably 10 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
But in the very much not in the direction of her home. She said, Alison said that Rachel was with another female that she described as slightly older and very plain looking.
Okay.
6:40 p.m. was an hour after Rachel's friends had seen her walk towards a different tram stop. So it checked out that the
timeline matches up, yeah.
Alison said that the Rachel and this other female seemed comfortable in each other's company. So it didn't appear to be a stranger.
No, okay. So like alarm bells weren't raised for her. She just saw that as a normal situation. Yeah.
She was like, oh, that's my sister's friend Rachel.
Yeah, and she's with another friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alison remembered that they got off the tram together in Paran.
Oh, okay. Right.
Which is why she remembered that that's where the tram was going. She noticed that they got off there. Police took this lead seriously.
Okay, right. Okay. Finally. Yeah, yeah.
They compiled a sketch of this older girl based on Alison's description. Michael and Elizabeth Barber, Rachel's parents, were shattered when they saw the sketch because it didn't immediately spark any recognition.
Oh, no. Okay.
They both said there was kind of some familiarity in it, maybe, but not like it looks a bit like this person. It was just a bit like...
straight away, they didn't connect anything.
Yes,
yeah.
Which they were really disheartened by
because they... Well, they finally got a sketch. They're going, okay, this might be a lead, but you don't recognise that sketch. So it's like, well, you don't really go anywhere from there. Yeah. At
the same time, the TV show Australia's Most Wanted...
Oh, wow. Okay, that's an older show. Yeah.
Asked the Barbers if they could feature Rachel's case on their show.
That's kind of like a Dateline in America or like What's Crime Watch is the other one that you think about.
Exactly,
yeah. Which is a show that doesn't exist anymore here in Australia, but around that time.
The Barbers obliged willingly. Anything that could possibly help.
Yeah.
And it was only then that the Victoria Police Missing Persons Unit formally took over the investigation. For a week, it had just been the Box Hill station. March 10 was Elizabeth and Michael's 20th wedding anniversary.
Oh, my God.
They spent that day...
They got married when they were like 20. Yeah. Oh, my God.
They spent that day fielding calls with tip-offs, doing a press conference to plead for their daughter's safe return and again searching the streets.
Oh, your heart just breaks for them, my God.
And it doesn't matter what day it is, but I've just noted in this script that Elizabeth's 40th birthday, their 20th anniversary, they should
They're going through these milestone
only
events going, I'm heartbroken, I don't want to do anything.
Of course, and they should be moments in time
of course.
that are, remembered for being happy.
They're beautiful kids, yeah.
Police dressed up a mannequin as Rachel had been dressed that day and put it at the street corner that Alison had seen Rachel and this girl get off the tram.
Right.
In the hopes that seeing someone dressed like that might kind of jog someone's memory.
Well, what do you mean? They put it in the report or they left it there for a bit?
So her parents did the press conference that day.
Right.
And they placed it They were putting it in the news that day.
Okay.
So the news stories could have this is what she was wearing on this street corner that day in the news stories on the news that night for the newspapers.
Right.
The Missing Persons Unit took the list that the Barbers had compiled of all the people who had called the home in the days leading up to and since Rachel's disappearance. Only one of these numbers could have been, described as a slightly older female who was a person called Caroline Reed Robertson. She had called the Barbers home on March 7 to ask after the family upon hearing of Rachel's disappearance, ask how they were doing and if she could do anything to help. Mm-hmm. The Robertsons, this Caroline's family and the Barbers had been neighbours in the Barbers' previous home.
Oh.
Both families had 3 daughters, but the Robertsons were slightly older. So Caroline, the eldest of that family, was often tasked with babysitting kind of all five, her two sisters and the three Barber girls, or even just the Barber girls themselves. She was 5 years older than Rachel, so was kind of a good age buffer to be able to kind of, say, sit with them for just an hour or two while the parents went out for dinner or something like that. And Caroline and Rachel got along well. They weren't friends per se. There were, 5 years difference between them, which, as a
pretty
kind
big
of a
at
child
that age.
and a young teen.
That's a big gap.
But Caroline really, in particular, had a real fondness towards Rachel. She even once photographed her for a school project in 1997 because remember Rachel had been the subject of her grandma's photography session. So
okay.
Caroline at school was doing photography and was like, oh, can I photograph you because, as your grandma had done. She kind of saw that as, a professional photographer's done that. I could do that as well.
Sure, okay.
Caroline had not done dancing. She wouldn't be described as particularly pretty as Rachel had always been. And she really seemed quite taken by the young beauty of her family friend. Essentially, Caroline and Rachel were family friends.
Do you mean as a photographer? Like she was like, oh my God, she's quite striking.
Yes. Police looked into Caroline just to cross her off the list because she was the only kind of, slightly older female when they discovered something. Now 19, Caroline lived in Paran.
Oh, wow.
Not even 200 metres from the tram stop, Rachel had been seen disembarking with a slightly older female.
Oh, my God.
Police asked the Barbers about Caroline, which sparked Elizabeth to remember that in late 1998, so say 3 or 4 months
not long.
prior, the babysitter had called Rachel to say that she knew someone who was looking for models and asking if Rachel was interested in any modelling work, knowing she'd done that 2-week modelling course.
Okay.
Rachel was really excited by the prospect and asked her mum, but her mum said she was too young to do it and they weren't comfortable with her doing any modelling at her age and they never spoke of it again. Police were able to bypass the privacy laws that we spoke about before about checking, the numbers and stuff, the call logs to their home phone. They found that Caroline had called the Barber home twice before the call on March 7. So March 7 was when she checked in on Barbers. The same number had actually called twice before. Both had been on February 28, the day before.
The day before.
1. The first call was made at 5:24 p.m. and lasted 15 minutes. The second call was at 5:45 p.m. and that call went for 29 minutes. Elizabeth remembered Rachel answering the phone twice that night and remembered that she was chatting happily and was animated and she assumed that it had been Manny on the phone.
Sure, okay.
Finding out these calls had actually been from Caroline comforted the Barbers. While they didn't know why she would or could possibly be with her, they knew Caroline and they knew her family. So it was like if that's the person she was on the tram with,
sure,
more than likely she'll be safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Police went to Caroline's workplace to talk to her about what she knew, but she wasn't there. Co-workers said she'd called in sick a few times over the past week and a half, which had been out of character for her. She had first called in sick on March 1, but came to work the next day. But she left after only a couple of hours on March 2.
Okay.
Police went to Caroline's apartment when she wasn't at work, the one in Paran, hoping they would find Rachel there. They didn't know why, but that didn't matter yet. No one answered the door when they knocked, so they broke their way in. And there they found Caroline laying face down on the floor, seemingly having some kind of medical episode, like a seizure or a fit.
Oh, my God.
She was rushed to the hospital and police went with her. When she came to, police were there waiting to talk to her. They asked if she had any knowledge of where the 15-year-old girl she used to babysit might be. Caroline said, "It was an accident. I killed her."
Oh, my God.
So I'm going to give you a bit of background about Caroline Reed Robertson. Caroline Reed Robertson was a deeply unhappy girl. She hated herself and she hated her life. She had always been an ostracised girl, very much described always as being nondescript. She wasn't fashionable. She didn't have many friends. She wasn't in the cool group at school. She was slightly overweight and she was very unhappy. Her early life had been quite dysfunctional with her family. There were lots of family fights and she copped a lot of criticism from within her family.
Right.
Her parents divorced when she was 16 and this led to the relationship with her mum deteriorating. She had such a bleak view of herself that she once did a self-portrait for a school project and the self-portrait was just completely black.
Oh, my God.
She'd write letters to her dad and notes to herself in her diary that would say things like, I get teased badly at school, I get really, really embarrassed, I really, really need help. These are quotes. One of the letters read, I feel like a troubled, tortured, lost soul that's been thrown into an alien environment full of angels. I don't know how I have survived for this long. Life for me sucks. The explosion is just going to get bigger and bigger until there is nothing left inside me. All of the feelings and horrible things everybody says about me bottle up and I have nowhere to explode everything. She kept a diary, numerous diaries, and in a number of entries she would describe herself as, quote, pizza face, which was very, I don't know if it's a 90s thing or if I just
very like
think this
acne. They talk about acne and stuff with the pizza face. That's what they,
as teenagers
yes.
say that. With, quote, brown, oily hair and no coordination. She referred to herself as obese and ugly with a massive nose.
Oh, my God.
She'd write over and over that she hated herself, she would never have friends and that no one would ever love her. Her young neighbour and family friend, Rachel Barber, was everything that Caroline was not. Popular, pretty, slim, talented, and had a gorgeous, equally popular boyfriend who adored her. Caroline became enamoured with Rachel.
Oh, my God.
She would tell colleagues, she didn't have friends, but she would tell colleagues that she had friends in Melbourne's theatre scene. Colleagues noted this seemed at odds with who they saw Caroline to be.
Right,
they were like,
okay.
What started as adoration turned into obsession and eventually to a deep-seated resentment.
My God.
Caroline wanted Rachel's life, so she was going to take it. On February 28, 1999, Caroline called Rachel at home and said she had a paid psychology job for her the following night. She had tried to, remember I said previously she'd said something about a modelling job and she said, I'm not allowed to do that. She said, there's a psychology job I can get for you. It's a study that would pay $100 cash, but you're not allowed to tell anyone about it because that could influence the study.
Right,
if people knew about it and started telling you things, that could influence it. So you're not allowed to tell anyone about it before it happens. She told Rachel that she would meet her at the tram stop near Dance Factory after school that day, and they would go to Caroline's apartment for dinner, and then she would take her to do this study. And it was there at Caroline's apartment that she enacted the plan to kill the girl who had everything the 19-year-old did not herself have.
So she said it was an accident, but that was a lie. She had planned this as a premeditated.
What happened inside the apartment on the night of March 1 isn't exactly known because Caroline didn't ever explain clearly exactly what happened. What is believed to have happened is this. Once inside the apartment, they ordered pizza and chatted until it arrived. When it did, Caroline drugged Rachel with a drowsy powder, and that's a quote, which I'll tell you why it's a quote later, on the pizza slices. When she was drowsy, Caroline took Rachel to her bathtub and placed her in it. There, Caroline took a telephone cord and wrapped it around Rachel's neck, strangling her.
Oh, my God.
Caroline's next-door neighbour, who shared a wall with the bathroom in this apartment block, would later tell police that he did wake at 2 a.m. to the sound of sobbing through the wall.
Oh, my God.
In the morning, Caroline stuffed Rachel's body in her wardrobe. The cord was still wrapped around her neck. And Caroline went to work.
Went to work with a body in her closet.
Mm-hmm. After a couple of hours, she ended up going home. She was her colleagues could say could see she was unwell, and she said she wasn't feeling well, so she went home. And her dad actually went to check on her when he heard that she was unwell. So this is March 2. Her dad came in and sat with her in the lounge room, but later noted that she had kept her bedroom door closed the whole time.
Oh, my God.
Throughout that day on March 2, Caroline made several phone calls to a colleague asking they pay her the $320 that she had previously loaned them, saying she needed it now because she needed to move some furniture to her dad's holiday home, which was out in Kilmore, which is about 80 kilometres, about a bit more than a 1 hour drive from her home in Paran.
Right.
She also, on that day, March 2, booked a removalist for the following day. The following day, March 3, she took the day off sick again from work to be at home for the removalist. She told this person that she was moving a statue, which was wrapped in 2 blankets and placed inside an army bag.
Oh, my God.
She followed the removalist to her dad's holiday home in Kilmore, where the removalist dropped off the army bag, took the payment and went on his way.
This removalist had no idea what was. Oh, my God.
No idea. There in Kilmore, Caroline buried Rachel's body in a shallow grave on the same part of the rural property where their late family dog was buried. Rachel was buried under a small wooden cross bearing the name Lucy in the pet cemetery at their home.
Oh, God.
The following day, March 4, Caroline returned to work where she discussed with colleagues the news that they'd all seen about a young dancer who had disappeared. She told colleagues that she used to be her neighbour and remarked that she had been known to run away from home.
Oh, my God. Planting that seed that there was possibility. Oh, my God.
A few days after this, Caroline went into her bank and applied for a $10,000 loan, telling the bank staff that it was for a car and that she needed it really urgently. She called in sick to work again on March 11 and 12, and sometime then she used a packet of supermarket hair dye to dye her own hair dark brown, the same colour as Rachel's. And then, as we know, on March 12, police finally found their way to Caroline's home. A search of her apartment found a diary, and this is where they found pages and pages of notes of self-loathing.
My God.
They also found handwritten notes confirming her plans for what she was going to do to Rachel.
Oh, wow.
This is where she had written about herself as, she had written about the drowsy powder. She had actually written about lacing pizza with, quote, drowsy powder. One entry read, quote, "On the way to dance school, say that she can't tell anyone that she's meeting me as I'm not allowed to give the study results to anyone. Ethics. Highly confidential. Not even your boyfriend or parents. Drug Rachel, quote, parentheses, toxic over mouth. Put body into army bags and disfigure and dump somewhere. Way out. No car." End quote. Another entry read, quote, "Check farm, including bags. Tuesday, arrange bank loan. Moving van. Night to disguise hair. Thoroughly clean house. Steam clean carpet." Police also found papers and documents containing Rachel's name and personal details. It's kind of strewn about her apartment. They also found notes and plans about Caroline changing her name, notes about undergoing plastic surgery, and moving interstate. There was also a suitcase full of women's size 8 clothing, which was not Caroline's size, but it was Rachel's. Police were dumbfounded by the notes and plans they found.
Yeah.
They found documentation of Rachel's family tree, details from her birth certificate, and written records of conversations she had had that Caroline had had with the young teen, Rachel.
She's so obsessed with her.
Police found paperwork showing that she had set up a PO box, like a postal box, so that she could receive mail not to her own home, that it couldn't be kind of traced who it was going to. And they found an undated birth certificate application that had been completed in the name of Rachel Barber.
So she was going to change her own name, is that?
That's the insinuation. Diary entries in Caroline's own diary in her handwriting said that she intended to change her name to Jem Southall, Southall being Elizabeth's maiden name.
Oh my God.
Elizabeth, Rachel's mum.
Oh my God.
So the insinuation or the what police came up with is that Caroline was going to planned to assume Rachel's identity.
Yes.
So she was going to go by this name, Jem Southall, but she was dyeing her hair to look like Rachel. She wanted all, this birth certificate to have the same date, time she was born, place she was born. She wanted to become Rachel.
Wow.
When police got around to formally interviewing Caroline, her answers were really frank and direct. She would just say, she's dead. I buried her. It's too late. She confessed to keeping Rachel's body in her apartment for 2 days before getting the removalist to take her to her dad's property in Kilmore, where she pretended it was a statue wrapped up in blankets.
My God.
But that's where Caroline Reed Robertson's confession began and ended. She refused to give any further details about how she had killed her, why, or if or how long she had been planning to do so. Caroline Reed Robertson, 19 years old, was charged with the premeditated murder of 15-year-old Rachel Barber. Rachel's auntie spoke to the media because her parents were unable to do so. She said, Elizabeth and, quote, this is what the auntie said, Elizabeth and Michael are endeavouring to bear the unbearable. They are being supported by loving family and friends. We have all been devastated by the death of their beloved daughter Rachel. Rachel's burning light has been dimmed, but will burn bright in our hearts forever. She will always be young, beautiful, happy, smiling, and dancing in our hearts.
Oh my God.
Caroline Reed Robertson's first court appearance was on March 15. She rocked back and forth in the dock as her lawyer told the court all his client remembered from the evening of March 1 was inviting Rachel back to her flat and the two ordering pizza. That's all she said she remembered. Rachel Barber was farewelled at a devastating funeral on March 24 with 850 mourners in attendance.
Oh my God, that's so sad. Oh my God.
Manny helped carry her casket. Do you need a minute? Oh, Sammy.
Oh, Manny as well.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Fuck.
You're right for me to continue.
Yeah.
Caroline wasn't in court again until early 2000, where she entered her plea and she pleaded not guilty. Her trial was set for later that year in 2000, but by the time the trial date came around, she had changed her plea to guilty. She maintained she didn't remember the details of what happened, but conceded she was responsible. The prosecution offered their explanation of the murder, stating that Caroline was motivated by her jealousy of Rachel's attractiveness, her popularity and her success, and perhaps a desire to emulate the success of a younger person with whom she had become infatuated. In late November 2000, the sentencing judge took into consideration Caroline's deep self-loathing, her long history of low self-esteem, and her mental health issues. But the judge also detailed her calculated plans in luring Rachel to her death. He said that Reed Robertson, quote, demonstrated the operation of a devious mind and manipulative abilities. He said, quote, at one level, it is possible to feel a considerable measure of sympathy and sadness for you, but the incontrovertible and irrevocable fact is that you have killed, and in doing so have created more than one victim. You appear to have been totally self-absorbed, concerned only with your own life situation, feelings and desires. End quote. The sentencing judge expressed grave concerns about Caroline Reed Robertson's prospect for rehabilitation, stating that her remorse seemed to have been driven only out of self-pity rather than having any real degree of insight into the real significance of what she'd actually done.
Yeah.
He sentenced Caroline Reed Robertson to 20 years jail with
20 years?
With a minimum non-parole period of 14 and a half years.
No. She was only 19.
That was in 2000, Sammy. What year are we in?
2026.
Rachel's family campaigned to keep their daughter's murderer behind bars.
Yes.
For their own safety, as well as the safety of the community. She had wanted to take on Rachel's identity. They were fearing for themselves as well.
Of course.
Fellow inmates of Caroline's said that she never expressed any remorse and she continued to compulsively lie. She told fellow inmates that she had a boyfriend waiting for her on the outside, a boy named Manny.
Oh, my God.
But, unbelievably, when her 14 and a half years of her minimum non-parole period came up, Caroline was granted parole.
No.
She was released from prison in January 2015 to be on under strict parole conditions until 2020. Since then, she has been a completely free woman.
My God.
When she was released, Elizabeth Barber, Rachel's mum, said in a media interview, quote, she won't be any less on my mind and she won't be any more. I don't think she is dangerous to us, but I don't want her to be dangerous to anybody. She said that Caroline should be thankful that she lives in a nation where she could resume her life outside of prison. And Elizabeth asked the public not to harass her.
That's so strong for Elizabeth.
Isn't it? As long as the Barbers never heard from her, which they stoically do not want, they hope that Caroline gives back to the community and finally feels some sense of remorse from what she's taken away, not just from their family, but from the world. 3 years after her daughter's murder, Elizabeth Barber co-wrote a book about the crime with investigative journalist Megan Norris, and it was titled Perfect Victim. Years later, an Australian filmmaker adapted the story for a film, which ended up being titled In Her Skin. The director of that film had full support from the Barber family during the movie production. They saw it as a way for Rachel to make her mark, and it highlighted the inaction of police after Rachel was first reported missing. Michael and Elizabeth Barber met with and have continued to meet with senior government officials to propose and push for a liaison officer to be attached to the missing persons unit, whose function would be to offer support to the distressed families of missing people. The Barbers did express their gratitude to the detectives of the missing persons unit. They found them to be considerate and sensitive of what they were going through. but they were very critical of the dismissive and unkind response of the local police officers, who subsequently, years later, offered the Barbers a formal apology for their inaction during the initial stages of Rachel's disappearance. As a direct result of Rachel Barber's case, Victoria Police, the manual for the force, now contains a clause focusing on the need for police officers involved in missing persons investigations at a local level to be sensitive to the needs of the families and to keep them informed and updated on all aspects of their investigations. Manny remains very close friends with the Barber family and has been to the weddings of both Heather and Ashley, Rachel's sisters. It's been 27 years.
Oh my God, yeah.
And Manny still calls Rachel the love of his life and still has the purple heart cushion.
Oh my God.
Oh, Sammy.
So heartbreaking. Oh my God, you were so young. 14 years old. Yeah. And you're so excited and trusted, like her babysitter.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I've met Manny.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about this more at the top of Thursday's episode. But when I asked Manny if he would tell me his story, his side of the story, for my other podcast, he immediately said yes, and he said, no one has ever asked me to tell my story.
Oh my God.
I know, oh my God.
Oh my God. She just wanted to buy those shoes. Little darling, that's so sad. Fucking hell. And the sisters of her and her poor parents. And also like Caroline's parents. Like I can't imagine what they would feel at being like, well, our daughter did this.
Yeah, yeah. And that's often something we don't think and really talk about. But that's such a huge thing as well. Imagine what it, for that family too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the things that would have gone through, the Robertsons' family's minds and the Barber's family minds. Imagine if they just never bought that house. Imagine if they didn't live there.
Yeah.
Imagine if she never came into her path.
The butterfly effect of just little things. One thing affects the other.
Sammy, Manny's whole thing is that when he sees a butterfly, he thinks it's
oh, I love you, Manny. I'm sorry. We need to stop. I can't do this.
We'll come
I
back
quit
later.
the podcast. I can't do this anymore.